Hey folks, we've all heard of indoor pools. Let me tell you about an indoor river. And then I'll get into the latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending March 22, 2023. We were at a listing appointment. And as we walked in, we just kind of start talking a little bit with the homeowner. And he says, look, I'm thinking of selling, just not the spring. I don't mind any other time of the year. I do not want to be on the market in the spring. Normally, I'm not particularly attached to selling one season or another. Doesn't matter. But now I'm really curious as to why is this gentleman saying not the spring when most people kind of want to be on the market in the spring. So I say, why not? Why not the spring? And he says, well, once I show you around the house, once we get to the basement, I'll tell you why. So we look through the house, we get to the basement. Basement is finished and no issues, everything is great. The basement's looking good. But we get to one part of the basement where the furnace room is, that part is not finished. And as I walk into that room, I could see on the ground 2 tracks of caulking. Now this is really, really thick caulking. So somebody had laid the caulking down, then on top of that, when it dried, then on top of that. So they built almost like a canal, it kind of seemed like 2 tracks that was 9 or 10 feet long, and it went from the corner of the basement that was unfinished, and it kind of went along to where the floor drain was in the basement. Naturally, I mean, you walk into the room, this is the first thing you see. I say, what's that? And he says, that's my problem. Every single spring, when the ground outside starts to thaw, I get lots of water coming in. This is the only part of the basement it comes in. And when you look a little bit closer, you could see at the corner, there's a crack on the wall right at the bottom corner. And he's got water. He built a canal. It's like an actual river. I missed the river. I didn't see it because this is a seasonal river. So I didn't see it at the time, but he's prepared that when water comes in, and this is the only part of the basement it comes in, it goes from where it comes in right to the floor drain. In his mind, no issue. 4 to 6 weeks every single season. This has apparently also been going on for many, many, many years. It's just something he lives with in that one part of the basement that's not finished. So, I'm telling you this story as a public service announcement. Those of you that purchased a home over the course of the winter, when the ground is frozen, nothing moves. The water's frozen, the ground is frozen, water doesn't move. But it's this time of year now, in the spring, as the weather gets warmer, we start to get more rains and the ground starts to thaw out. If you have a deficiency in your basement, this is when you're going to see it. Be extra vigilant. Even if you didn't buy, just your home. Have a look. Keep an eye out, because things happen over the course of the winter, and when it thaws, it's better to catch a leaking basement early when there's less damage than when there's a lot more damage. That's my public service announcement for today. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. So, I'm seeing early signs of the market turning, of a downturn. Nobody's talking about this. I'm going to show you in the charts. This is what I'm seeing right now. I'm not predicting what's going to happen in 1, 2, 3, 4 months from now, but right now the market has turned. Why is no one talking about this? Because it's overshadowed by just a few weeks ago, I was talking about prices are going up. Where'd all these buyers come from? Multiple offers. More than half the properties are selling in a multiple offer or selling at list price or more. The downturn is overshadowed by all that. We took some buyers to see a property the other day. It had an offer night. They had 26 offers on one property. Can you imagine 26 offers? So naturally, you see that and you think everything is going nuts. But overall, on average, across the board, we're experiencing a downturn. Let me get into it and show you through the numbers. Here's a quick summary. Condos, the orange here, those are the semis, the purple are townhouses, and red up top is detached. The gap between condos and the freehold properties is starting to get larger. Let's start off with detached properties for the City of Toronto. This chart has the numbers broken down by week for a whole year. 121 detached properties were sold for week ending March 22. Sales are coming down. 121 is much less than what we've been selling over the last 4 weeks. It's interesting, you know, the beginning of March, boom, sales went way up from 104 to 154, but they've been coming down ever since. 21 were sold at $2 million or more. Sounds like an okay number, but it's actually lower than what it's been over the last 4 weeks. So even the luxury sales are coming down. And average sold price, although it's up slightly from the previous week, it's pretty much the same as what it was the previous week, but overall has been coming down. Average sold price is $1,550,000. $1,550,000 is 5% lower than what it was a year ago. Now, it's so easy to think, wow, 5%, that's not much. We were 19%, 15%, 18, 20% lower. Now we're only 5% lower. I'm going to go back one chart. For whatever reason, March 23rd saw a quick, like a huge drop to 1.6 is the average sold price. This is March 23rd last year. The week before we're at 1.9, dropped to 1.6, but we can see we're shooting straight up again to 1.9 and 2 million as the average sold price. And we're down here right now. So going back forward, yes, this 1 week we're 5% lower. It could seem like, wow, it's pretty good. But the following week, this last year's the average sold price is going to shoot back up to 1.9. Then we're going to see the huge percentage difference again. The median price is 11% lower than where the median price was a year ago. Median price is sitting at 1.3, both for average sold price and median price. And again, this is just for the City of Toronto, detached properties only. Middle of January to the end of February, average sold price and median, we're going up. But since the beginning of March, there's been a downturn, much less in median price. It's been quite flat and now starting to come down, but average sold price has been coming down. And it's almost like a tale of two cities out there, or a tale of two markets in one city, basically. You've got properties sitting out there not moving, very few buyers having a look at them, and you have other properties that are 20 offers, 10 offers, 5 offers, just getting gobbled up and kind of not so much way higher than the previous sale, but they're selling at list price or more, and they're getting the action that a seller is hoping for. So, but two markets in one city is really what we're experiencing right now. 121 were sold, more than half, 55% sold at list price or more. Listings, we've got more listings, so more choice. 277 detached properties were listed for week ending March 22, and months of inventory since the beginning of March has been inching upwards. Months of inventory is now sitting at 1.6. As months of inventory come up, generally speaking, prices tend to come down. That's the idea. Months of inventory is a way for us to quantify supply and demand. Here's a breakdown of some of the Toronto neighborhoods here. I've circled some of the percentages here selling at list price or more. For Etobicoke, 63% of the properties sold at list price or more. East York, Riverdale, Beaches, includes Leaside up top, 70% selling at list price or more. Scarborough, 69% selling at list price or more. So how do we think there's a downturn? And I'm myself guilty of talking about, wow, 69%, 70% selling at list price or more. Well, there's other areas where some of that isn't happening, and there's properties that are sitting out there. Months of inventory for Scarborough, 0.8. Months of inventory for Etobicoke, 1.7. 1.7 in East York. Willowdale, Bayview, 2%. 3% York Mills, Rosedale area, not 3%, sorry, 3.2 months of inventory. Months of inventory for the entire city of Toronto, we said, is 1.6, but each of these areas has its own behaviors, its own market in those neighborhoods. And this is why it's so important to be working with somebody that can adapt to the different neighborhoods. You know, you could be selling in one area, moving to another area, which is normal. But the agent's kind of got to know and got to be able to adapt to different strategies in different neighborhoods. Here's a quick look at semis. 39 semi-detaches were sold. Average sold price is $1,240,000. 8 of those semis sold at $1.5 million or more. The average sold price of 1240 is 21% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,120,000 is 23% lower than last year's median price. And semis are behaving similar to the detached market. Prices were going up, and now we're seeing a downturn for the last 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks. Prices are starting to come down again. Months of inventory sitting at 1 month of inventory. We said 39 were sold. 72% of the semis sold at list price or more. The semi-detached market, very competitive. Here's freehold townhouses. 9. Only 9 were sold for the whole week across the city of Toronto. 2 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price is $1,247,000. Excuse me. $1,247,000 is 16% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,050,000 is 23% lower than last year's median price. It's really tough to kind of talk about the townhouse prices, just because there was only 9 sold. The sampling size is not that great for none of the weeks when it comes to freehold, but we see prices going up, and again, like the other market types, starting to come down. Months of inventories for townhouse sitting at 1.8 months of inventory, which is a huge jump from where it was a week ago. Here's condos. Sales overall since the beginning of the year seem to be continuing to increase. 267 condos were sold for week ending March 22nd. 22 were at $1 million or more. You would expect, though, with sales going up, the amount of condos selling at $1 million or more to also be increasing. And really, if we kind of look back, 22 is not that much compared to when we were selling far less. I mean, we sold 196, 173, 25 were sold. So the amount of condos selling at $1 million or more is not increasing at the same rate as overall sales are increasing. Average sold price down a bit from the previous week. $707,000 is the average sold price of a condo apartment in the city of Toronto. $707,000 is 15% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price of $649,000 is 14% lower than where it was a year ago. Now, average sold price and median price over the course of the first 2 months have been increasing not by that much. but we're starting to see for average sold price, the downturn. Median price since the beginning of March has been pretty much flat. If you really had to analyze it, a very small amount coming. You could barely notice it, but it's pretty steady. What we don't see is prices going up. 267 were sold, 41% sold at list price or more. 560 were listed, which is up from the previous week. Months of inventory came down a little bit, sitting at 1.9 months of inventory. With months of inventory over the last couple months coming down, we would have expected prices to be going up, but we're not seeing that. We should, but we're not. This is what's making it so difficult to predict or to kind of understand what's happening out there. And this is what has a lot of people confused. Why aren't things behaving the way we would expect normally? Here's a quick summary. Months of inventory. Look, we're still in a seller's market, but it really is the tale of two markets in one city, and this has a lot of people confused. I suggest if you're looking to do a transaction, buy, sell, work with a good realtor, work with a professional that can help you navigate and is not set on doing things one way all the time, but has to be adaptable to what's going on in the market and has to be able to read what's happening in that market. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.